Welcome back to Success in Mind. Today, I am very excited to welcome back our favorite business growth strategist, Yahel Demeter. This will be Yahel's fifth time now on Success in Mind. And if you don't already know him, he's not only a brilliant brand and business growth strategist, but he's also my business partner in Teri and Yahel Business Talks, where we offer workshops, networking events, and coaching. So let me tell you a little bit about Yahel. He has over 22 years of experience, and he works with businesses of any kind and size to reach their business goals faster and smarter by creating new target markets, products, and services, and by using solid differentiation. And today, he is here to talk about what you need to consider when you're thinking about getting into a business partnership. So let's get into it. Let's go. Yahel, welcome back.
Thank you, Teri. Thank you for inviting me again.
I think this is number 5.
I believe you.
You believe
I didn't
me?
count, but I believe you.
I'm pretty sure it's number 5. So I'm going to create a playlist for just your episodes. The most recurring guest on Success in Mind.
The most boring playlist.
No.
Success in Mind.
No. Do you think
I'm
I'd create a
joking.
boring show? Never.
No. But you could do better in choosing your podcast guests.
I agree. Okay. I'm joking. Only the best guests make it on.
What do you want to talk about today, Teri?
So we're going to talk about business partnerships because we have one. And, as of course you know, we do our regular Q&As on our Instagram account. Lately, we've had a few questions about business partnerships and how people can get into a partnership like this one. So that's what sparked this conversation. So that's what we're going to talk about.
I'll tell you what, I think that good business partnerships attract questions like this, right? Because when you see something that works, when you see something that you can't put your finger on exactly what works, I think that it raises lots of questions, right? So let's try to answer most of them.
Yeah. So let's start with what I think is the big overarching question, but why would you want to get into a partnership?
Why did you want to go into a partnership?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you also.
Okay, I'll tell you why I wanted to get into a partnership. One, I've worked alone for a long time and I was tired of working by myself. And even though I'm interacting with clients regularly, it's lonely. And I wanted someone to bounce ideas off with and to share some of the stresses and to share like the good stuff too. But also to have someone who complements what I do, who doesn't do what I do, but complements what I do. And then you asked me if I wanted to work together, and it was the perfect fit.
So I will add something to this because first of all, I knew that this is what you're going to answer. That's why I
figured,
asked you to go first, because the thing is, Teri, that is, at the bottom line, I'm a business strategist, right? This is what I do. And I can tell you this, people, when they make decisions, when they are lonely, usually make the wrong decisions.
Tell us more. How so?
Because you mentioned it, how lonely you were, right? And I felt the same thing, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was lonely too. Every entrepreneur knows this feeling of the loneliness on the top of the pyramid. I knew it. You knew it. 90% of the business owners know it. Okay? This situation usually makes them make the wrong decision. They make decision out of if they don't have enough bandwidth to think about what they are doing or what they should do. They make decisions that are not creative enough because they don't have anyone to bounce ideas with. So a good business partnership, a solid business partnership solves it. Now, it also does something else. It does the opposite, but it's still positive. It also brings arguments into the relationship, right? Business arguments. Now, if you know how to manage those arguments, you actually grow from those arguments. You actually learn something about yourself, about your business, about the environment that you work in, right? So that's my point of view about the why.
Yeah. I want to add something to the why. And we'll come back to the arguments later because I think that's a whole topic we need to talk about is how do you handle disagreements in a partnership? So we're going to come back to that. But I want to add in that the other reason I wanted a partnership, specifically with you, Yahel, was that when I was your client, because for those of you listening who might not know this, we met because I worked with Yahel. I was his client first. And while working with you, I would have appointments with clients, like I would meet with clients, and sometimes a question or something would come up that was more business strategy based. And I would think, I wish I had Yahel's brain here right now because his brain could come up with a whole other level of response to this than what I see. And so it was also just having that, like just being
So
able to compliment again, like what we do.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I would find myself thinking that I wish I had Yahel's brain here right now so that he could answer this because he'd answer it at a whole different level.
So I will add something to that because after I think our first or second meeting, I came back home and I told my wife that I found myself in a woman. So I felt that I also I
That's
I can also
amazing.
I can also I never told you that.
Not that part. No,
You can ask her.
I will.
So that I can bounce ideas with you, right?
Yeah.
And that's why right after we finished our project together, I reached
Mhm.
out and I tell Terry we need to do something together. Now this brings me to something else. Most people around us, Terry, most people who listen to this
Mhm.
podcast because most of them are business owners, I guess. They already know who they would want to partner with, but they never ask the question. Okay, so if
True.
you ask me
Yeah.
how real business partnership starts, is with that question. Terry, we need to do something together. Let's do great
Mhm.
things together. It's not a question, but it is, right? So most of you who are listening now, you already know who you want to partner
Mm,
with. You already know that
good point.
person. It can be a friend, a family member. That's another issue, by the way. You need to be
Mhm.
very careful there. A friend,
Yeah.
a family member, client, a colleague, even one of your competitors, right? Competition is not always bad. So you probably know who you want to partner with. Just ask the question, start slow, make a good agreement,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. So, but how about this? Because they might know who they want to partner with, but how do they know that that's the right partner? Because I can think of scenarios where I think, well, I have this really great friend and we have a lot of fun hanging out together. Like, let's do something, but that might not be the best partnership. And I think that sometimes, or many times, people partner with the wrong person because they are a friend and they think this will be fun to do something together, but they're not the best partners.
true. I think that you know what, I'll give you an answer from the startup industry. Okay, because I have lots of experience there,
Hmm.
and it actually answers the question. When a startup needs to raise money, right? Needs to raise money to operate, to grow, to test their ideas, to find a product market fit or go to market, right? They need
Yeah.
money. And there are two kinds of money. There is regular money, just cash, and there is smart money. Smart money are investors who also have something to say, who also
Mm,
have connections, who also have more than just the role of investor in your startup. Okay, they have
yeah.
track record that you can actually help much, which is much more than their money, right? Because money you can get in many places. Smart money is harder to get. That's exactly what I say about business partnerships. You need a smart partner. A smart partner is someone who's is not only completes you when it comes to your skill set, but also makes you think. Okay, who has a track record to challenge your ideas. Right? Think about us, Terry. How many
Yeah.
times? That's why you laughed. How many times we disagree? How many times I tell you, Terry, let's agree to disagree. Okay, and how many times this sentence started a whole different level of conversation
Absolutely.
about what we disagree about, right?
Hmm.
And how we learn from that. That's a good business partnership.
Yeah. So, not necessarily your best friend. It could be, but not necessarily. And not necessarily someone who agrees with you on every single point.
Not only that, that's a red flag, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So if you're listening and you're thinking, well, my best friend and I, we see eye to eye on everything and we have the same opinions of everything and we'd have so much fun working together that, maybe not.
But
Maybe not the
let's
best thing.
save. I suggest for the listeners, let's save the red flags
Sure.
to the end, okay?
Yeah.
Because these are the warning signs. But let's talk about the
Yeah.
positives, I think,
Sure.
first,
Yeah.
okay? So
Yeah.
what makes a good partnership,
Yeah. What
Terry?
was
What
the good
makes it
one?
strong?
Yeah. So
So
go ahead.
I think that the next factor that you need to take into account is role clarity.
Mm,
Now, this is something that is very easy to say and very easy to, oh yeah, sure, clarity. Yeah. But what is it? but what?
exactly. Exactly.
So
What? Oh, you're asking me.
yeah, in our case, for
Yeah.
example, the role clarity is very clear. I hate Instagram, for
Yeah.
example.
I was going to say.
I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. I really don't. And I'm not active in social media. If I like something, it's by mistake probably. So it makes me think.
Or it's because I've said, Yahel, go like her last video.
Also true. So in our partnership, for example, you're in charge of this. I'm in charge of you tell me what I'm in charge of. But
Website, for
website, for
example.
example, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strategic decisions we usually make together.
Hmm.
But I think that I usually bring to the table complex ideas
Hmm.
and your input is to make it simple,
Yeah.
right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So you need to find what are the roles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
that's the first thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. What would you say is important in terms of values in a business partnership?
But there must be alignment, Terry. There must be
Yeah.
alignment in three different levels. I think the first level is personal values. Okay, yes. For example, yesterday we meet almost every day, but I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I told you something, and you told me, "Yahel, you're a good person." I don't remember what it was,
Yeah. I don't remember either.
but you told me, "Yahel, you're a good person." And we finished the conversation. I went to make dinner.
Of course.
We finished the conversation, and I told myself that it is so important in a business partnership that you actually think that the other partner, that the other side is a good
Hmm.
person.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super important. People don't usually pay attention to that. Okay, they know
Mm.
how to do business, they know how to make decisions, they know how to grow, they know how to take my ideas to a different level.
Yeah.
They are good business partners. No, first of all, they need to be good people. Just like I told my girls, I don't care. I really don't care who you date with when you grow up, right?
Hmm.
I'm terrified, don't get me wrong, but I don't care. I don't care as long as they're good people and they treat you nice. It doesn't matter skin color, language, origin. It doesn't matter
Yeah. What if he
as long as
drives a
they're.
Tesla?
Oh, that's don't start it, Terry.
Just throwing it out there.
First level is personal values. If you're a good person, if you're kind, if you how you treat other people,
Hmm.
let's just go with this person to somewhere to a restaurant or something, see how that person treats others. Okay. First level. Second level is business values. Are they attentive to details if it's important for you, right? What's their level of content? What's their level of knowledge, right? That's the second. It's less important, by the way, than the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
The
agree.
third level that I think completes everything is the vision. Where do
Hmm.
we want to take this? Does this person, one time a client, a very big company from BC, asked me to write a strategic plan. One of my first clients here asked me when we arrived to Canada, asked me to write a business growth plan, and I wrote a and I'm telling you, Terry, it was good. It was
Nice. Nice. I bet.
solid good, because I need to prove myself. I mean, it was not easy, and I was very proud of it.
Hmm.
I presented this business plan, this business growth plan, and they told me that's a very good plan, but we are so comfortable in where we are,
Oh,
we're not going to implement it. So what did you pay me for?
yeah.
Why did you spend so much time and money for that? And they told me just to know options. And you know what? In hindsight,
Wow.
I accept it. It's perfectly
Wow.
fine.
Yeah.
to be honest, I was mad.
Hmm.
Okay. But now, a few years after, I understand it. I understand it. So you need to know
Interesting.
exactly who you're talking with. What are their goals? What they want to do.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. 3 levels.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you repeat them one more time?
Sure. Personal, business, future plans or growth or whatever.
Perfect. Is there, what would you say is one value you would never compromise on in a partnership?
In which of the levels?
Any of them? Just one that would be like a complete deal breaker. You wouldn't compromise it.
Good person. Good person.
Nice. That's what I thought you would say, but I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In business, in the second level, by the way, it would be attention to details.
Hmm.
And in the third level is that someone wants to go, someone wants to think outside of the box.
Nice.
Because
Nice.
I can't, I mean, I really can't work with people, with comfortable people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I was actually just having a conversation with a client this morning about the dangers of comfort. Yeah. And I shared with her the frog analogy that you put a frog in a pot of water and he's comfortable. And you just keep gradually increasing the temperature and he'll be comfortable and he'll adapt. And then at 99 degrees, he's comfortable, he's fine. And at 100 degrees, he's dead. And that's happens that quickly. And that really hit home for her when we were discussing that, the dangers of comfort.
The dangers of business stagnation, by the way.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We're very adaptable people. Yeah. Yeah. So how would you know if a business partnership is successful? What are some markers that say that it's working?
That it's working.
Just
I
that?
mean, yeah, because I tell you what, business partnership needs to tick 3 boxes. The first one is financial goals, not necessarily by importance, right?
Hmm.
Financial goals, that it is smooth, okay? And I'm not talking about arguments or disagreements or it's
Yeah.
okay. And you know me, I argue. When I disagree with you about something, I will try to convince you or you try to convince me, but we'll talk about
I
it's not
know.
argument, right? But
No, no.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I won't leave things unspoken. Okay? So I think that I lost the line of thought.
Oh, how
Connect
do
me
you
back.
know when the business
Yeah,
partnership's
three
working? Yeah,
things.
the 3
First of
things.
all, financial goals. Second is that it is smooth. Okay? And third, that you're not disappointed.
Mm, that's a big one.
Okay? Because so many things will so many things you can squeeze so many factors, so many situations into that box of disappointment
Yeah.
that it works.
I have to say that terrifies me, by the way. The idea of disappointing you is terrifying to me.
Same.
It's
Same.
one of
But
my
it's
biggest
good.
fears. It's good. It is good, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
And if you remember one of our last not arguments but arguments,
mhm.
I wrote you, Terry, I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. Okay? I'm not anything. I just want to say it. You remember it, right?
I do remember,
So
yeah.
yeah, so just transparency, just be transparent about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. Okay, so when it comes to decision making in a partnership, how do you think decisions should be made in a way that is fair and good for all parties involved?
I think that every business partnership, it doesn't need to be written,
Mhm.
but every business partnership needs to have some sort of decision making protocol that both sides will understand, or more than both sides, all sides will understand how decisions are made. For example, you know, okay, that if you want to post something, you know exactly what I will be okay with and don't need to ask me and what needs my attention, right? That's decision making protocol. If for example, I add testimonials for the website to the website, I don't ask you,
No.
right?
No.
But if I add a page, if I add a workshop, if I add something significant, I will ask you before I post it, right? That's decision making protocols. So I think that even if they are not written, all sides should know how decisions are made. What should I discuss, Terry, before I?
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of written, how important do you think it is to have a partnership agreement?
Very important.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Very important. But lawyers will hate me for saying that, and many others maybe. No, not hate me, but strongly disagree with me. I feel that, let me say it this way. If we're not talking about investment or intellectual property or very unique business idea, right, that you need to protect, I am not sure that having an agreement right from the start is the right way. I think that you should have an agreement once things become more serious, because first of
Yeah.
all, you don't know if it will reach that phase
Mhm.
and you want to save your money.
Yeah.
Okay,
Agreed.
that's the first thing. The second is usually, I'll give you this example. NDA. Have you ever signed an NDA from it? Okay. In the startup industry, I think I signed over 100
Wow.
NDAs over the years, or even much more than that when I think. Over 100. Now, everyone will tell you that an NDA doesn't stand. I mean, you can't prove anything with NDA, but you just sign people about on NDA. And NDA, by the way, it's non-disclosure agreement, right? That if I have an idea and I want to talk about it with you, you will sign the NDA just so I feel protected. That if you do something with the idea without me, I can sue you or something like that. But the thing is that people don't understand that this NDA brings so much stress and noise and misalignment into the picture, because I feel, okay, I signed an NDA. Now I'm not sure what I can say or what I shouldn't say. Or maybe if I give that person an idea now, maybe if I really help that person, maybe I should sign them also on an NDA because it's my idea now, right?
Yeah.
So if I expand their idea, if I develop their idea, right? Is it mine now? Is it both of us?
Right.
Okay. So yes, I'm a consultant at the end of the day. So it's my job to give you ideas. That's what you pay me for. But I give you ideas after the payment.
Yeah.
After I get paid, that's what I get in return.
Mhm.
I mean, I say it very, very bluntly, right? But it
Yeah.
doesn't
It's
work like
perfect.
that.
It's perfect.
And this is not how I think, by the way, and you know me,
I
right?
know. Yeah.
I'd give you ideas just like
Mhm.
that. But
Yeah.
the thing is that it brings so much stress and noise into the system, and it actually
Mhm.
affects the opinion of the other person. Okay. By the way, side note, it's not connected even to business partnerships. But when you have an idea and you're afraid to share it, you keep it close to your chest. Just understand that maybe you got it wrong, and the
Yeah.
opinion of the other people will actually help you to get it right.
Yeah.
Okay, just remember that.
Yeah. I actually had a guest on who talked about that very thing. He talked about bringing ideas into the marketplace, like how to actually create a product. And he talked about that same thing where he said people are afraid to talk about it, but he's like, you need to talk about it to validate whether this is a good product or not. You need the feedback. So he was like, and
Smart guy.
people, yeah. And he said, most people are not going to steal your idea and run with it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, but you need to be
And
able to
people
talk
don't
about
have
it.
the expertise that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to the like the partnership agreement. So, you talked about, you'd mentioned like waiting until later in the process, which I fully agree with. But I just want to add on
Sometimes,
another
not in all
sometimes.
cases, sometimes, yeah.
No, but sometimes,
Most,
yeah.
most,
Yeah. I had on another guest who's a contract lawyer, and her advice was so simple. She said, just go onto Chat GPT, type in what are the 20 questions business partners should answer. She's like, sit down, put yourselves in in a room, sit down, go through all 20 questions, document all of your answers, what you agree to. And she's like, that's what you need to start with. That's it.
awesome.
She's
That's
like, you don't
such,
need to pay a
such a
lawyer at the
nice
beginning.
advice.
Like, you don't need that. You just need to decide what happens if someone wants to exit.
And
What
what happens when?
happens? What happens when? And just answer all of these questions. And she's like, just do that and you're covered. Type it up, sign it. That's it.
Smart advice.
Very good
Smart
advice
advice.
and
Yeah.
saves people a lot of money. Because I
Yeah.
think that's why a lot of people don't get a partnership agreement, is because of the legal fees, that they think, well, I don't want to spend this money. I think that's one reason. I think the other reason is that they're avoiding the difficult conversations.
Yeah. They bring noise into the system.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a lot harder to have those conversations when things go wrong
I
later and
agree.
you don't
I
have an
agree.
agreement. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about disagreements. What
Let's
happens when there's a disagreement? How do you handle it respectfully?
fight.
Fight? Just put on the boxing gloves and go for it?
Yeah. Nah,
I would lose every time.
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But let's talk about it. Disagreements. What do you want to know?
Well, what are your thoughts on how partners should handle a disagreement?
Talk about it. Do you know how I handle disagreements? I just talk about them. If something bothers me, I just talk about it. I say, this
Yeah.
bothered me. And I always say, by the way, always how to fix it and whether there are consequences or not. For example, I
Mhm.
will say, it bothered me that you did this.
Yep.
I think that next time we should do that. It won't affect anything else, but I just wanted you to know. That's how I phrase disagreement
True.
when I talk about it.
True.
On the other hand, I can tell you, from now on, I think that I will be more cautious about what I say or how I say it, just to make sure that we won't have this. So I think that what we disagreed about, how we fix it,
Mhm.
okay, or at least one way to fix it, and whether there are consequences or not, because it's not always you have consequences.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's important in any sort of relationship when you're dealing with a disagreement is to look at, okay, this is how I see it, but this isn't necessarily the only way to see it, and be open to that other person's perspective and how they view things. And this is coming from NLP, to always keep in mind that every behavior is based in good intentions. So that if you can keep that frame in your mind that this person has good intentions, they see it differently. I might not understand why they see it that way, but I know their intentions are good. And if I can keep that in mind, they have good intentions with this, it makes it a lot easier to be open to hearing what they have to say.
Terry, you know my friend Jackie, right?
Yes.
So Jackie is people don't know Jackie. Jackie is one of my best friends.
Hmm.
He's a realtor, but he's different. He's almost the conversations with him are deep, are deep.
Nice.
When I came to Canada, he helped me a lot, and one of the first tips he gave me was never assume. Yahel, I will teach you two words now. Never assume. Okay.
Nice.
So also in this context, never assume. Never
Hmm.
assume that you know what the other side thinks, how the other side feels. And it's not only in business partnership, by the way. It's about marriage, partnership with your friends, even with your kids.
Yeah.
Never assume that you know
Hmm.
what they feel.
Yep. I think that's
And
great advice.
yeah, and never assume. It's one of the things that I remember. I will probably remember for the rest of my life, but never assume.
That's good. That is very good advice.
You
Yeah. Okay.
remember after one of the workshop, we had a disagreement, and
Yes.
remember what I told you. I don't know what led you to do this and that, but this is how it came through. This is how I
Yeah. Yeah.
felt.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That's how I practice never assume.
Okay.
Because if I thought about it for some time, I would assume something, and it will make me form an opinion about
Hmm.
it, and it will make me defensive probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And in NLP, we would say respect the other person's model of the world, that everyone has their own model, and you can never fully step into another person's model of the world. You can hear them describe it, you can get information from them, but you never can fully understand what it's like to be in someone else's model of the world and to see things through their eyes. And so if you can just respect that everyone has their own model that they're working from, their own operating system. And in fact, if we could pull you out of yours and plunk you into someone else's, you wouldn't even recognize where you were. The world would look so drastically different to you. And so when you have people, whether it's a business partnership or any relationship coming from their own models of the world with very good intentions for their behavior and feeling like their behavior is correct, and if you can keep that perspective, I think it makes things a lot smoother.
And that's very true. I think that everyone has their own operating system, right?
Hmm.
And the model of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, red flags. What are the red flags we need to look for?
There are many, so I try to there are many.
Yeah.
Avoidance of conflict, for example,
Mhm.
is a major red flag. We talked about it. Never avoid a conflict. When you have something to say it. Make sure that if your business partner is the right business partner for you, they will understand. It will be
Mhm.
okay. I think that another one that we mentioned already is misaligned exit strategies,
Mhm.
or what happens when someone wants to end
Yeah.
this business. Okay,
Yep.
I think that for me, a warning sign will be secretive behavior.
Mm.
Okay, when
Yeah.
I feel that I don't know everything. Now it's okay that I don't know everything, right? I don't need
Yeah.
to know everything,
Yeah.
but when I feel of something that is connected to me somehow, and I feel it's secretive, I mean, this would be a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Ego,
Yep.
ego dominance is also a very
What would that
big.
look like? How would you describe that?
It's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Or I know best, right?
Mhm.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
something that will give you the feeling that you don't know enough, you're not good enough, you don't know enough.
Mhm.
Let me lead the way. But I also give you I also give you the opposite, right? Of ego. For example, how many times, Terry, did I tell you these exact words? Terry, this is what I think we should do, but it's your decision, but it's our decision, but we need to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many, many times.
Now, in some of the times, I knew when I said that I know better. I knew, but still, I didn't tell you that. We had a conversation around it. Sometimes, by the way, I thought, I can give you an example later if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that I know better, and you knew better, actually.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so curious what that was.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could think of a time, I won't give specifics, where you did know better and we went with my decision and it was definitely the wrong decision.
But it happens, Terry. It happens. I mean, it's a part of life.
No, it is. It
You
is. But
make mistakes.
I think you also learn what each other's strengths are. At least that's what I see. Like I know, for example, that you are a much better judge of character than I am.
It's true.
But I've learned that by making mistakes. So I know now that if you say this is not the person we're working with, that I need to listen to that because I'm wired to see I trust very quickly and easily and I default to seeing the best parts of a person and it's easy for me to overlook the red flags. And so now that I know that about how you work, I know that if you see a red flag in someone that I need to listen to that because I don't have that same level of discernment with people that you have.
For example, something that is your strength that I usually listen to you is how to say things. What is the right approach? Because for me, as you know,
Yeah.
I have two factors that combine into the perfect storm here. First of all, English is not my first language. Surprising. Second, I'm very direct.
Yes.
I always was.
Yeah.
I'm very blunt, right? So this combination of telling what you think and not necessarily choosing the right words can be deadly.
Understandably. Yeah. Yeah. But also, it's also a good quality too.
To some extent,
I
yes.
think so. I think your directness is a very good quality.
I agree with you, but I can tell you that there are people who don't know how to handle it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'll say
and
that.
it's not fair to expect everyone to know how to handle directness.
Yeah. Especially people if they've grown up in an environment or they're used to passive aggressive communication. So if that was how they grew up or if that's their way that they communicate, they will often perceive directness as aggression.
True,
And they
true.
think it's that they're being attacked and they're not being attacked. It's just
Yeah,
direct.
being direct.
Yeah.
I remember one of my first clients here. She asked me for my opinion about. I think I told you this story maybe 100 times. She told me my opinion about. She asked for my opinion about her website. So I gave her my opinion about her
Yeah.
website, which wasn't bad, by the way. It wasn't good either, but it wasn't bad, right? And
Yeah.
she thought it's bad. So I went over her website with her section by section. This is wrong. This is how you fix it. This is wrong. This is how you fix it. And I was very
Mhm.
direct. I didn't I didn't know, I still don't know how to go around the bush, how to how to
Sugarcoat.
how to sugarcoat things, how to serve them right.
Yeah.
So it felt to her, I guess, right, like I'm
Mhm.
attacking her or something. And she know, Yahel, I appreciate your opinion, but you're killing me here.
Aw. Yeah.
And once she said it, so I immediately asked her, but you asked for it. No, I asked for your opinion, but I gave you my opinion. Yeah, but you need to know how to say things. And she was
Yeah.
right. I still do it, by the way.
Yeah.
She was right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I remember that from our very first meeting. That was the first thing you told me was, "You have to know I'm very direct."
Yeah. And then what I told you, Teri, this is your problem and this is how you fix it.
Yeah, which is perfect. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. Any other red flags people should be watching out for?
I'm thinking about the disparities, right? I mean, when
Mm.
things are, I know. Boundaries, time boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, working schedule. For
Mhm.
example, I don't work in the evenings, you don't work in the mornings, I don't work weekends, you do work on things like that. You need to know when is the right time to approach your business partner and what time is only for emergencies.
Mhm.
Also, I think that let's call it income to effort disparity.
Okay.
For example, one person might think that we are putting too much effort in something that doesn't produce us enough money. And the other one will say, okay, it will produce us money. So let's put the effort in. Disperse like this, I think.
Yeah. 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 And going back to the time boundaries, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is the time to text.
8 a.m.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize I did that until you pointed that out one day that it's 8 a.m. is when I typically send you a message.
That's why we usually start texting, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, I'm usually up from 5.
What do you think? So if we look at our partnership, what do you think makes our partnership strong? Because this is actually one of the questions we got in our Q&As is someone asked how they could have a strong partnership like ours. So
It's
what do we do
effortless.
well?
It's
Yeah.
effortless. The dynamic between us is natural.
Hmm. I agree.
When we disagree or when we just like married couple, but in business, right?
Hmm.
It's natural. You feel that you can say whatever you want. You can feel that you won't be judged.
Hmm.
That if I feel down sometimes, I know that I can talk to you about it. You do the same, and we both experience that. Although it doesn't look from the smiling video, sometimes we have bad days.
Yep. We are human.
Yeah. And then we go to the patch, we sit in the sun, we eat, we drink, and
Yep.
we suddenly feel better.
Exactly. Exactly. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just, if I need to choose one, effortless dynamic, that you don't need to make an effort to have good dynamic.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely agree with
I think
that.
that once this is cleared, you're good to go in so many other aspects. It holds many things inside.
Yeah. And then how do you know when a partnership isn't working and it's time to pull the plug?
I will answer something that people won't be happy to hear, but you feel
Okay.
it. You feel
Yeah.
it. When something doesn't work, you feel it. Most of the times, you don't want to listen to that feeling.
Right.
Okay. For example, before Anat, I was married. I was married once for less than a year, something that
Yeah.
never meant to last. I mean, I appreciate her and everything, right? But we were not supposed to be a married couple. And we both knew it before
Yeah.
we got married. We both knew it, but for some reason that it was too late to stop the train and we both felt obligated. But when something doesn't work, you know it, Terry. The opposite, right? When things feel bumpy and they still work, you also feel it, that it's just a bump.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what
So
should they do if they find themselves in that position? What's their next step?
talk about it. End it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Before you end it, talk about it. Reflect what you feel, because sometimes under the never assume role, Terry,
Yeah.
never assume that you're right. Never assume that the other side is wrong. Never assume that
Mhm.
this wasn't meant to be. Talk about it. Most of the times your gut feeling was right, by the way. Is right. But talk about it, and
And just remembering what you said about gut feelings, one of
I
our
knew that this is why you're laughing. Do you want to repeat it?
you go ahead.
Or it's too good for you?
No, no, go for it.
So I said once, and Terry quoted it everywhere. Everywhere that someone asked us a question about what you do with the business idea. Well, no, 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 no. When you implement a business, oh yeah, I have a gut feeling that, yeah. So the context was business ideas, and the conversation was around gut feeling. I have a gut feeling that this business idea would work, something like that,
I like
right?
that, yeah.
And gut feeling, these are two words that you don't say next to a strategist. You don't. It's something that you don't do, right?
Yeah,
So I said that with the gut feelings, you don't start a business. You go to the bathroom. That's what I said.
I love that so much.
It's good. It's a good one.
It is a good one.
And it's true. It's a right
Yeah,
one also.
yeah,
Again, very rough,
but true.
but
It's
true.
true. It's true. Any last thoughts on business partnerships before we close up?
Make sure that your visions are aligned. We didn't talk about it about vision.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe you can give tips about vision and how you align visions. But I think that the number one killer of business partnerships are misaligned visions.
yeah. And I agree with that. And I'd say, in order to align your visions, you have to sit down and get really clear about where your business is going, what you're both picturing, what you see, but also what it means to you to get there. Because someone might say, I want, let's give you an example. Someone might say, it's important to me that we we become millionaires or that we make a lot of money. Well, what does that mean to you? What does the idea of that mean to you and what's driving you behind it? I think that's even sometimes more important than the vision. So you might say, well, we want to become the leading expert in this field. We want our brand to be known as the leading experts in this field. Well, what does that mean to you behind that? And what would it mean to be a leading expert? And what is a leading expert to you? And get to the meaning behind the words that you're using to talk about your vision. Because then you'll
And
see if you're
also,
really aligned.
what would you do to get there, right?
Mhm. And that too. What are you willing to do to get there? I see this a lot. I don't do it anymore, but I used to do a lot of couples coaching and I would do values alignments with couples, which is very similar of like what's important to you in this relationship, what's important to you and seeing if their values matched. And so they might both say, well, love is important to me. And so
What is love?
they would seem to match, right? Like if we just looked at the word, like love and love, okay, both people say love is important. But what does that mean to you? And it would unlock a whole layer of meaning that could be completely worlds apart. One party might say, well, love means that we spend a lot of quality time together and go
More
on adventures.
grounded, more
Yeah.
grounded.
Yeah, and the other person might say, "Love to me is that I come home to a clean house every day after work, and that makes me feel love." And so they're completely different interpretations of what that actually means. And the same is true in business partnerships, is to make sure that where it is that you're going and that vision that you have, that you're aligned not just at the surface level, but what does that mean to you? What are the layers of meaning underneath what it is that you're talking about, and are you aligned all the way through?
I completely agree.
Mhm. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you agree.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on. It's always fun to have you. We talk all the time, but it's always fun to have you on the show.
And even this podcast, how it was even
Yeah,
initiated, right? Someone asked too many questions about partnerships. You said, let's record a podcast.
yeah. And that
The
was at
most
about 11 o'clock today. So here
the
we
most
are.
the most personal is the most universal. If something bothers you, it bothers so many other people.
That is a very good point. I like that.
Many startup founders will tell you exactly the same thing. That's how you
Interesting.
form a business idea. The most personal is the most universal. That's
Interesting.
why, for example, if someone asks you, how do I come up with the next big thing, right? The next giant business. So they should start by, that's a different episode,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they should start with just writing
Hmm.
their pain points during a week, right? I didn't have a dispenser for the soap next to the kitchen sink. I didn't
Hmm.
have where to put my car keys when I came back home. The floor was dirty in my study room, and I hate cleaning it 3 times a
Yeah.
day. I don't know. You start by mapping, and then you see what's recurring. Yeah, that's how
Very
you
cool.
start.
I think that's a whole other episode we should do.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
people will want to hear it, I will gladly talk.
Okay. So if you want to hear it, then you have to let me know. And Yahel will come back and we'll talk about it.
Let Teri know.
Yeah, let me know.
The subject for this, never mind. I won't say it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you again.
Sure. Good to be here.
Thank you again for joining us this week on Success in Mind. Remember, if you want Yahel to come back again, which will be his 6th appearance on the show, and to talk about where to come up with ideas, startup ideas, and products you can create, if you're someone who's always thought about creating a product, but you just don't know what you would do, and you want him to come back and talk about that, he has a ton of experience and expertise in this area. So if that is you, make sure you reach out to me at the Teri Holland on Instagram or drop me an email. I will put my contact information in the show notes. And if you want to learn more from Yahel and I at Teri and Yahel Business Talks, make sure you give us a follow on our Instagram channel. And we have so much coming up: workshops, coaching, networking events. If you are in the local area, we have a ton for you. If you are not local, then we have some online ways you can connect with us too and work with us. So make sure the first step is just to simply follow us at Teri and Yahel. I will link that in the show notes as well as our website, teriandyahel.ca, where you can learn about everything that we offer and how we can help support you in your business growth. All right. Thanks again for being here. I will be back again with you next week, my friends. Bye for now.